let's just be real for a second. Have you ever had a moment where you're sitting alone, no distractions, no noise, no one around, and deep in your gut, you just know you were meant for something more? You can't explain it. You can't fully see it. But it's there. That quiet voice, that little pull in your chest whispering, there's more to you than this. If you've ever felt that, then let me tell you right now, that's not your imagination. That's not some fantasy. That is your potential trying to wake you up. Because here's the truth. You were made for more. More than just surviving. More than repeating the same day over and over again. More than living on autopilot. More than sitting on the sidelines while life passes you by. You were made to grow, to create, to lead, to impact, to build something that matters. You were made to evolve into someone so much stronger, wiser, sharper, and more powerful than who you are today. And I'm not saying this because it sounds motivational. I'm saying it because it's real. You feel it inside of you, don't you? That restlessness, that frustration when you know you're capable of more, but you just keep playing it small? That guilt after wasting time again on stuff that doesn't push you forward? Yeah, that's your real self tapping you on the shoulder saying, wake up, let's go. You don't need someone to give you permission to grow. You don't need someone to open the door for you. You don't need to wait until you got all figured out. You don't need everything to be perfect before you start. What you need is to stop ignoring the truth. You were not born to live a quiet life of regret. You were born to try. You were born to learn. You were born to fight for your life and shape it with your own hands. You were born to take the hits, get back up, and become unshakable. And I know, maybe people haven't seen it in you yet. Maybe they've doubted you, laughed at your ideas, talked behind your back, or maybe worse, maybe you've been the one doubting yourself this whole time. But guess what? Other people's belief isn't the fuel that drives your potential. Your belief is, every powerful, successful, fulfilled person you look up to, they had to wake up one day and decide they weren't going to live a life smaller than the one they were created for. They had to say, this is it. I'm going all in on me. Even when no one else clapped. Even when no one understood. That's the real start. That's the moment where everything begins to change. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter how behind you feel. You could be broke, broken, embarrassed, overlooked, tired. I don't care. If you got breath in your lungs, you've got time to rise. But you've got to choose it. You got to decide that your life is worth fighting for. You got to decide that comfort can't control you anymore. You got to decide that your future matters more than your excuses. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about becoming some flawless version of yourself. This is about finally deciding to take the limits off. The limits that the world placed on you. The limits that fear whispered in your ear. The limits you convinced yourself were real. You were made for more. More courage. More growth. More strength. More passion. More purpose. More life. But it's not going to land in your lap. You're going to have to fight for it. And that's not a bad thing. Because you were built for fight. You just forgot. So this is your reminder. This is your shake-up. This is your wake-up call. You're not done. You're not too far gone. You're not too old, too young, too late, or too broken. You're just in the middle of the story. And the good part is coming. If you're willing to turn the page, let the world sleep on you. Let them doubt you. Let them underestimate you. But don't you dare do it to yourself. You got work to do. You got dreams to chase. You got strength to unlock and a purpose to step into. So no more waiting. No more wishing. No more watching everyone else build their lives while you stay stuck in neutral. This is your time to move. Because deep down you already know it. You were made for more. Let's go. Let me tell you something that no one else may have told you loud enough. You've been carrying greatness this whole time. Seriously, it's not something you're waiting to find. It's not something hiding out in some course, or buried in a book, or locked away in someone else's approval. It's already in you. It always has been. You've just been distracted, discouraged, or straight up lied to. Think about it. Think about all the things you've been through. The pain, the setbacks, the sleepless nights, the times you felt invisible, The days you showed up for others while no one showed up for you. You didn't crumble. You didn't disappear. You didn't quit. You adapted. You held it together when everything was falling apart. You kept moving when everything in you said stop. That's not weakness. That's not luck. That's greatness. Quiet, untapped, resilient greatness. But see, we live in a world that makes you forget that. A world that tries to make you feel like you're not enough unless you've got some title or trophy or perfect feed or 10,000 followers. Like you got to be loud, flashy, and constantly achieving for your worth to matter. But the truth? Greatness isn't loud. Greatness is consistent. It shows up in your discipline when no one's watching. It's in your decision to be kind when the world is cold. It's in your hunger to grow even when it's uncomfortable. It's in the quiet fight you've been having with yourself every single day, to not give in, to not give up, to not go numb. And here's the part nobody tells you. You don't become great. You uncover the greatness that's already there. That voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, that's not the truth. It's just noise. You weren't born to doubt yourself. You weren't born to play small. You weren't born to stay stuck in cycles of fear and overthinking. That's just layers you picked up over time. Layers from disappointment, from failure, from people who didn't believe in you, from moments where you tried and it didn't work out, from comparing yourself to people who aren't even running your race. But deep underneath all of that, your greatness is still there. It didn't disappear. It didn't get erased. It's just waiting for you to believe in it again. You might not have all the answers right now. That's okay. You might not feel motivated every day. That's normal. You might have failed a dozen times. Who hasn't? But if you got the strength to wake up and try again, if you still got breath in your lungs and fire in your belly, you got everything you need to rise. See, people will try to measure your worth by how visible your success is, but they'll never understand the battle it took for you to just make it this far. The internal war, the tears you never told anyone about, the times you kept pushing when quitting would have been easier. That's greatness. That's greatness. The kind that's not posted. The kind that's not loud. The kind that no one claps for. But it's the kind that builds champions. And you've had it all along. You've got gifts inside you that haven't been tapped into yet. Ideas that haven't been born yet. Dreams that still burn even if you've tried to ignore them. Strength you haven't even tasted yet because life had you in survival mode. But now it's time. It's time to stop walking around like you're just another name in the crowd. You're not. You are one decision away from unleashing the version of you that's been quietly waiting for permission to lead. So here's that permission. You are ready. Not because you feel ready. Not because it's perfect timing. Not because someone else said so. You're ready because your greatness has been with you since day one. And now it's time to walk in it. The world doesn't need another copy-paste version of someone else. It needs you, the real you, the bold you, the hungry you, the version of you that's not afraid to fail, to grow, to rise again and again and again. You don't need to fake it. You just need to own it. So shake off the doubt. Let go of the comparison. Kill the lie that says you're not enough. Because you are. You've been carrying greatness this whole time. And now it's time to use it. Let's go. Here's the truth, straight up. You don't need permission to become who you were meant to be. Read that again. Let it sink in. You don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need a green light from the world. You don't need a stamp of approval from people who barely know your story. You don't need to wait until you feel ready, because here's a secret nobody talks about. You probably never will. But that's okay, because the people who change the world, the people who step into their potential, they don't wait to be picked. They choose themselves. And it starts with you. You weren't born to sit on the sidelines of your own life. You weren't built to keep asking, is it okay if I try? You weren't created to live stuck, constantly second-guessing whether you deserve to go after more. You're not here to beg for a seat at the table. You're here to build your own damn table. Listen, maybe somewhere along the way, someone told you that you weren't good enough. Maybe they didn't say it with words. Maybe it was with their silence. Maybe it was the way they doubted your ideas, or brushed off your dreams, or made you feel like you had to prove yourself just to matter. That kind of thing leaves a mark. I get it, but their doubts, their lack of vision, their fears, that's not your burden to carry. That's their limitation. Don't let it become yours. Because the truth is, nobody else gets to decide what you're capable of. Nobody else gets to measure your worth or put a cap on your potential. And if they don't see your greatness yet, that's fine. You don't need them to. You need you to see it. Too many people are out here living in pause mode, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for more confidence, waiting for someone to tell them they're ready, waiting for the fear to go away. But here's the thing. You don't become confident by waiting. You become confident by doing. You don't become fearless by sitting still. You become fearless by moving, even when your voice shakes. You don't find your potential by asking for permission. You find it by betting on yourself when no one else does. Think about this. Every successful person you admire, they all started before they were qualified, before they were celebrated, before they had followers or fans or recognition. They started with a whisper inside that said, What if you could actually build that dream? What if the life you want is already possible? What if you're more powerful than you've ever been told? That voice, that what if, that's the start of unlocking everything. But only if you stop waiting. Stop waiting for people to clap for you before you take the first step. Stop waiting for the world to understand you before you start. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. It won't. What disappears is a power that fear is over you once you start moving. You were born with the key to unlock that next level, the key to shift your mindset, the key to stop asking for permission and start becoming who you already know you are deep down. This isn't about arrogance. It's not about ignoring advice or pretending you've got all the answers. It's about taking ownership of your life. It's about realizing no one else is coming to rescue you. No mentor, no motivational video, no lucky break. You are the one you've been waiting for. You got this spark in you, something different, something unique. And if you've been hiding it because you're scared of what people will say, or you feel like you're not ready yet, I've got news for you. The world doesn't need another person playing small. The world needs you. Loud, real, lit up from the inside with purpose. So go start the business. Go write the book. Go change your routine. Go say no to things that drain you and yes to things that stretch you. Do it messy. Do it scared. Do it without having it all figured out, because that's how it works. The most unstoppable people are the ones who stopped looking outward for permission and started looking inward for purpose. You've got that power right now. Today, not next year. Not after someone tells you you're good enough. Not after some magical sign drops out of the sky. You are already enough before anyone tried to measure you. You've always had permission. You just didn't know you could give it to yourself. Now you do. So here's your reminder from someone who believes in you. You're allowed to start. You're allowed to go big. You're allowed to reinvent yourself. You're allowed to outgrow your past. You're allowed to win. You don't need a title. You don't need applause. You don't need their permission. You just need to decide. And once you do, there's not a single thing that can stop you. Let's go. It's not built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's built when you get back up after life knocks you flat. It's built when you keep going even though your confidence is low. It's built when you choose discipline over comfort. It's built when you stay committed even when the motivation runs dry. See, people will tell you that talent is everything, that if you're not naturally gifted, it's not worth trying. But let me tell you something. Consistency beats talent every time. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, the most skilled. You just have to outlast. Let's get one thing straight right now. Your potential, it's not a gift someone hands to you with a pretty little ribbon. It's something you build, brick by brick, day by day, moment by moment. The version of you that you're dreaming of becoming. The one that's confident, successful, respected, happy, fulfilled. That person isn't hiding somewhere waiting to be discovered. That person is waiting to be built. There's no shortcut, no cheat code, no elevator to the top. There's only the climb. There's only the work. And I know that's not what everyone wants to hear. People want fast. People want easy. People want guarantees. But life doesn't work that way. Greatness doesn't work that way. You don't just wake up one day and arrive. You create the life you want through the decisions you make when no one's watching, through the hours you put in when it's not fun, through the sacrifices you make when it'd be easier to quit. It's not built in the spotlight. It's built in the shadows. It's built when you get back up after life knocks you flat. It's built when you keep going even though your confidence is low. It's built when you choose discipline over comfort. It's built when you stay committed even when the motivation runs dry. See, people will tell you that talent is everything, that if you're not naturally gifted, it's not worth trying. But let me tell you something. Consistency beats talent every time. You don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, the most skilled. You just have to outlast. Most people won't. That's the truth. Most people will fold when it gets hard. Most people will stop when they don't see results fast enough. Most people will convince themselves they're not meant for it just because it didn't come easy. But you're not most people, because you know the truth. Nothing meaningful is given. Everything worth having is built. Success doesn't land in your lap. You build it. Confidence doesn't magically show up. You build it. Discipline isn't born. It's built through repetition and resolve. And that version of you that you keep picturing, the one who's fearless, focused, free, that version isn't some fantasy. That version is waiting for you to show up and start building. You build it every time you say no to distractions. You build it every time you get up early to work on your goals. You build it every time you push through when it would be easier to coast. Look around. Every powerful person you see, every athlete, every entrepreneur, every creator, every leader, they built that life through years of hard decisions, quiet mornings, and lonely nights. You might not see the process, but trust me, it's always there. So the next time you catch yourself saying things like, I'm not ready, or I don't know how, or I'm not like them, catch it. Stop yourself. Because here's the real question. Are you willing to build? Not just dream, not just talk, not just plan, but actually build, even when you're tired, even when it's slow, even when no one claps, even when it doesn't look like it's working. Because your potential is not a lottery ticket. It's not luck. It's not about being chosen. It's about choosing yourself every single day. It's about waking up and doing the work even when your feelings don't match your goals. It's about creating habits that serve you instead of holding you back. It's about staying focused on the bigger picture when the short term feels disappointing. You don't find yourself, you build yourself. And you can start from anywhere. You don't need a fancy background. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need everyone to believe in you. All you need is to decide that you're not waiting anymore. Decide that you're going to build something real, something solid, something that can't be taken from you. That kind of power, it's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's unshakable. Because when you build your confidence from action, no one can tear it down with words. When you build your vision from your values, no one can shake it with opinions. When you build your success from sacrifice, you know exactly what it's worth, and you won't let it go. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you unstoppable. So stop looking for the easy way. Stop waiting for someone to hand you your future. You were never meant to be given potential. You were meant to unleash it. And the way you unleash it? One step at a time. One decision at a time. One moment at a time. Start laying the bricks. Because you're not just building a dream. You're building you. You're tired. You're questioning everything. And maybe you've been asking yourself, is this even working? You've been putting in the hours, making sacrifices, waking up early, staying up late, cutting out distractions, and doing your best. But it still feels like nothing's moving, like nothing's changing. But let me tell you something right now, something you need to let sink in. You are way closer than you think. You're not far. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're just in that part of the journey where the work is invisible, but the results are loading. Every little step you've taken, it's counted. Every choice you made when no one was watching, it mattered. Even the days you felt like giving up and still kept going, those days are gold. Those days are the foundation of your breakthrough. But here's the thing about success. It doesn't show up all at once. It builds quietly. It grows like a seed under the dirt. No one sees the roots forming. No one sees the strength building beneath the surface. And sometimes you don't even see it. You feel like you're failing, when in reality, you're transforming. You feel like you're stuck, when really, you're just climbing. You feel like nothing's happening, but under the surface, everything's shifting. The problem is, most people quit when it looks like nothing's working. They stop right before the breakthrough. They give up because they expected instant results instead of real growth. They thought they'd see the harvest in a week, but forgot that every great thing takes time to bloom. You are not one of those people, because you know this isn't about hype, it's about heart. It's about showing up for yourself even when the reward hasn't arrived yet. It's about choosing to believe that just because you can't see the finish line doesn't mean you're not moving. You're closer than you think. That version of you you've been fighting for, it's not light years away. That life you dream of, not some fantasy. That breakthrough, that change, that freedom, it's already on its way. But only if you don't stop now. You have to hold the line. You have to trust the process you committed to, even when the results aren't obvious. You have to keep walking forward, even if the road is steep. You have to keep showing up, because the version of you on the other side is waiting, and they're worth the pain, the effort, the sweat. And here's something wild to think about. Most people only realize how close they were after they gave up. That can't be your story. You didn't come this far to almost make it. You didn't put in all this effort just to walk away when it's finally starting to come together. Think about how far you've already come. Think about the battles you've already won, the growth you've already seen, the old version of you that you've already left behind. That's not an accident. That's proof. Proof that this is working. Proof that the change is real. Proof that you're already becoming the person you've been working toward. You just have to keep moving. You just have to hang on, because your moment is closer than it feels. It might be the next email, the next workout, the next meeting, the next day you decide to try again. You never know when it's going to break wide open, but you'll never find out if you stop now. So breathe, reset, refocus, but don't stop. Don't lose sight of how far you've already come just because you're tired. Don't count yourself out just because it's taking longer than you planned. Don't let doubt speak louder than your vision. You are closer than you think, so much closer. And when that breakthrough finally shows up, it won't feel random. It'll feel earned, because you stayed in it when it was hard, because you didn't give up when the noise in your head tried to drown out your drive, because you believed even when no one else did. The finish line is always invisible until you're crossing it. So keep going, keep building, keep trusting. That future you've been chasing, it's not far, it's just around the corner. And the version of you that's going to greet it, they're being built right now. Your potential isn't something you get later, it's already yours. But it's been locked up, caged by fear, silenced by doubt, delayed by distraction. Now's the time to unlock it. You've got the key. It's in your choices. It's in your discipline. It's in your belief. Stop telling yourself you're not ready. Stop telling yourself it's too late. You're alive. You're breathing. That means it's not too late. That means there's still time to become who you were meant to be. So unlock that cage. Step into your power. And don't just exist. Evolve. Explode. Elevate. Because once you start unlocking your potential, there's no stopping you. Let's go.